right.
Something like this. Tens of
I
planes
put a
will fly
sweater
very
on
high and use nozzles to inject millions
because
of
it
tons of
wasn't
light-emitting
loading.
particles into the
Whoopsie.
stratosphere.
Okay. It wasn't loading before when I was trying, when I didn't have my sweater on, which was really weird. So let's get going here. There we go. There's just a lot to cover. Oh, all right. I'm like, all right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. Mary June Tracy, and Spiritual Love of Life coach, astrologer, coming to you with the 411 of As Above, So Below. I'm also known as a psychic medium as well. So, yeah, it is one. You know what? The energies, these are like get going type of energies and start doing things and get going on things. And it is so important to be doing that, you know, grabbing the bull by the horns, as per se, since we are in Taurus energy. And this, where the cosmos is offering us a blend of dreamy inspiration and grounded reflection. And so we're going to dive into some of the celestial energies, the shenanigans, as I say, to see how they might influence our world and personal journey. And Venus and Neptune are still together. They're still conjunct. They are um exact, I believe. Let me pull up my little chart TD warty. Um, so we have Venus coming together. She's trining over to Mars. She's squaring Jupiter. And she's nuzzled up to Neptune. She's sextiled over to so she's really making a lot of aspects today. Like she's sextiled over to that dude over there, Saturn. And so she is. The sun is squaring over to Pluto today. And the moon is squaring. Oh, the moon. The moon and Mars. Moon, Mars. That brings up a lot of emotional and turmoil kind of things of, am I going to say the right thing? Am I going to do the right thing? How am I going to do it? And, a lot to do when it comes to your communications with the moon, because the moon is still in Cancer. So with that conjunction still, this is bringing up creativity. There's a surge of creativity. If you're feeling like, yeah, I got to journal, I want to go out and connect with people, or I want to, it's bringing up that surgence, right? And there is a compassion with it. There's a romantic idealism with it. So, that's part of it as well. But you might feel empathetic, inspired to pursue an artistic endeavor. I've been working on um, workshops. Right now I am putting together, and it's going to be called an altar in your pocket. It's going to be a live workshop that I'm going to do, and it's showing people how you can have an altar in your pocket and how to have something, or just gather things around you to create a little altar for yourself if you're out and about, and so that you can bring in that cosmic energy wherever you are and help you to ground and maybe refocus. So I'm going to be doing that. So I'm going to be having it's going to be called an altar in your pocket. So that's going to be coming up. It'll probably come up after Mother's Day. So closer to the end of May into June. Now, just some announcements here. I got to get back to the planets. I have June, July, and August set up for if people want to continue with doing my monthly theme and my monthly theme outlines. June is all about, it's a workshop on a month workshop on the summer solstice, and working on how to make bundles, how to utilize the sun, right? and bring in like small fabric pouches and writing. Of course, writing is always going to be about it. Doing some ribbon, not the river, ribbon and twine. And then also looking at if you are able to, and I'm going to say if you're wanting to do this with me in June, start to source out some lavender and some lavender stalks. Um, and looking at fresh or dried so that we can make some lavender wands. So I'm going to do a little workshop. I haven't done a lavender wand in so long, but we're going to do it even if I have to YouTube. I'm going to be YouTubing it and remembering how to do that. So we're going to in June we're going to be doing lavender wands, and I'm also going to have a summer solstice ceremony. And the summer solstice, let's just bring this up quickly, is on a Saturday. So it's the 21st. And what I want to do, I'm up early anyways, but I want to get up really early on the 21st. And there's a beautiful spot on Nose Hill that you can go and watch the sunrise. And so I want to go there to go watch the sunrise and then invite anybody who wants to do. Haven't done that in a number of years, but it is so empowering to do. So doing a ceremony and then doing a little ceremony for people on the summer solstice, a little prayer and bringing in that sunshine as we're stepping into a beautiful season. So, whoops, and I lost my I lost you guys. I didn't lose you guys. You're still there. So we're going to be doing some June. For June, it's going to be called the Midsummer Magic. So we're going to have June, and you're going to have a booklet and everything to go with it, and work on that. So the other theme, so for July, that's the June one. Hold on, I'm trying to look. That's the June. Okay, June. July. July, we're doing the Sacred Heart of the Summer. So this is where the Sacred Heart of the Summer is going to be. It's sort of the pre-Ludnashla. I hope I never know how to say that. But anyways, it's when we're going from Cancer into Leo. So we're going into the heart of summer and bringing in that heart of summer. So in this, we are going to be working on ripening, what is ripening within our lives, the inner flame. This is when strawberries are out, raspberries are out. This is when, these beautiful nectars are there for us to partake in. And so what we are going to be doing is like our focus on our emotional tune-up, creativity, our inner joy, tendering. We're going to be tendering our sacred flame and what we love and what matters. So we're going to be really cultivating that. In that, we're going to make up a sacred bath ritual. Of course, I'm going to have journals. And creating art as offering poems, paintings, and dancing. So it's going to be an encouragement for you to get out and maybe go to a festival, partake in some sort of festival and get out and dance and move, get out and start painting. Maybe, taking your paints or your crayons or your drawing material and go and sketch in out in the park or something like that, honoring our ancestors. So this is another beautiful way of connecting. This could be even visiting a gravesite, right? So, and your inner child and together. So fire, we're going to be working a little bit on fire scrying. And so I'm going to be teaching a little bit on that. Moon water spells under the Capricorn full moon and working on that. August, we have the gratitude. So this is reaping, offering. So celebrating this beautiful energy that's coming in. This is where we're going to be letting go of what no longer serves us as we are going to be transitioning into the fall energy. So this is Lama's bread. I can't even speak today. bread offering, gratitude altar, and herbal bundles. We're going to be doing a little bit of refinement when it comes to the Virgo new moon, and a ceremony for offering back to the land and the ancestors. So I'll be having, those are going to be for the June, July, and August monthly workshops. I'm excited to do it. I know sometimes in the summertime people um, they go they people go away, or they're so busy in doing um, in doing stuff. Like, you get busy in the summertime, even though it is a slower time. But it is, whoopsie, sorry, it can be a busy time too. And this is where I find that people, and I wrote it up today, and that we use God, your goddess, your divine, as a sort of like an idol. And it's an idol that you put up once in a while, and then you dismiss it or you put it away. And I feel like sometimes that's even within our own selves. We just sort of put ourselves out whenever we can, and then go and then put our spiritual lives away, instead of partaking within our own spiritual life and make it an everyday occurrence. And I find that is the most important thing, is that starting to make every day a spiritual day, taking charge of your spiritual well-being, taking charge of that beauty of who you are and what you are wanting to embrace in your life. So these monthly journeys, I feel, are something that can empower you. You go at your own pace. Of course, I have an outline, and of course, I have something for you to do day to day. But even if you miss a day, you could, like, okay, or something didn't vibe with you that day, you got the next day to do, or you could go back and do another day that you really felt, okay, I really want to go back here because I need to complete this, or I need to add this into more of my regime, right? So this is what's so, so important with this energy that's coming forth for us all. And as we are, moving along with this energy, the one thing about Venus and Neptune, going back to the astrology, be mindful of idolizing situations, right? So if you're idolizing something, um, people, or ensure your dreams are anchored in reality. This is where, when you're working with the divine, when you're working with God, you're anchoring things into this reality, right? It's not something foo-foo out there. One day it'll happen, one day it'll come to fruition, or what have you. This is working, and trusting that the divine is working with you, like calling them in. And it is a practice. It is a practice. It is a practice. So just an FYI. So that moon I was talking about with that square to Mercury is like, whoa, sorry. It's a challenging one, because communications might be a challenge, misunderstandings. As you can tell, I can't speak today. I can't say words. And this aspect can create tension between emotions and logic. So this is where, because it rules Virgo and it rules Gemini, Mercury does. So those are very logical signs. Like, they really want to, you know, Virgo's like, show me. This is why sometimes it's hard for them to trust in, even though they are the virtuous ones, they are the virgins. And the virgins, meaning that they have this purity about them that they don't need. And the thing is that with the original of a virgin, is that they weren't bound to no one, right? They were a virgin, not necessarily. It's like, we think of somebody who's never had sex before, but this is one where they are bound to, like, themselves. They are bound to the earth. They are bound to, creating, and what they are wanting to create and what they are wanting to serve. That's what that energy is. So when they are I'm going to say obsessed with something, or they are wanting to control something, then they find it very difficult to let that go. Or if something mystical and magical, they want some proof to it. Why is this mystical and magical? And they may have a hard time. Same with Geminis, because well, Geminis being the twin, right? They also rule the nervous system as well. So their nervous system, and this is where they could have a hard time because they're trying to logically figure it out, right? They're at one side they really want it, the other side, no, we got to figure out this logically. Um, so there is that part, especially with the moon. The moon's internal. So we got to pause before reacting, strive for clarity in your interactions. You got to listen to what the person is saying, right? Don't just assume this is what they're saying. Don't just assume this is what they're going to do. And even with the sun is sextiling over to the moon right now, and that does bring in some harmonious energy. It does bring in some balance and helping us with our inner self and outward expression. It is a beautiful day for self-reflection, aligning your actions with your true feelings. What is it that you want to do? I'm ecstatic about creating these workshops and doing the recordings. It just feels more in my alignment than per se than what I was doing before. And this is really allowing me to be able to do more, get out and uh, participate in other things more, if that makes sense. Because this is where we are as a collective too. We are yearning for unity and compassion. We're really wanting that. And we're finding that there's so many things that are misdirected with us right now, are being misdirected. And this energy can inspire global movements, a lot of people wanting peace, artistic expression, humanitarian efforts, and that has to do with with that Pluto and Aquarius as well. And we also, with that humanitarian efforts, is that, are we doing this for the greater good? Are we doing this for the greater good, or are we just doing it for our ego or for our wallets, kind of thing? So watching how we are wanting to do the humanitarian efforts, right? And the other thing is, like, we're coming back to that, humanitarian efforts, is like, are you listening to what other people are saying? Maybe people are objecting to what you feel, this is humanely right, this is what we need to do. Someone may object to that, and it's like, okay, well, why do they object to it? What's going on there? Have a listen. You may not agree with them, you might find that they're totally wrong, or you feel they're totally wrong, but you allowed them to have some space to hear it, and that's part of that humanitarian part. And with the moon squaring over to Mercury, we got to remind us to, communication, they say, to avoid misunderstanding, especially on the world stage. There's going to be some misunderstanding. So part of that misunderstanding could be that where you're not getting all the facts. I mean, you're only getting some of the facts. You're only getting some of the information. Like, nobody may understand totally what's going on with our government at this time, and how Pierre lost his seat. And I mean, there's so many different theories on that, but we don't have all the facts. So we got to allow ourselves to be open to the information that's coming through. We might be frustrated and feeling overwhelmed with everything, but we also have to allow for this, because when we are trusting in the divine, when we're trusting in God, then we know that there's a divine purpose to this all. There's a divine alignment to this all. And with this divine alignment, then we are going to be able to find more meaning and truth to our own road and the things that we need to do. Now, I did pull out, and I posted this up on my Facebook, is that the one card I did have for today, like today's overall card, before I pull out other ones, but was the Tower card. So sudden change, breaking down old structures. So there's this sudden change. A lot of things are breaking down. A lot of things that we used to rely on are not going to be there. So this is really restructuring ourselves, realigning ourselves to something different, something new. And this will make us feel uncomfortable, overwhelmed, because excuse me, we might have to learn something. We might have to try and do something we've never tried to do before. We have to embrace the transformation. And what seems like chaos now can lead to a profound growth and new beginnings. And that's where we're at. We're at the tower is falling. And as it falls, I shouldn't have put gum in my mouth before I went on here, but I did. This is where we have to understand there is something new that's happening. There is great transformation and change that is happening. And we must learn to surrender and embrace. The herb today was lemon balm. Oh, I love lemon balm. I love the smell of lemon balm. I love the taste of lemon balm. It is a calming one. It soothes anxiety and it promotes emotional balance. This is a beautiful for a cup of tea. Just lemon balm and ginger. Oh my gosh. Bringing in some lemon balm, a little bit of ginger, adding some honey into that. Mwah. Oh, very, very calming. This is very dynamic. And even if to have lemon balm as a diffuser for you, that'll help to soothe things, help to soothe anxiety, help to bring in the calmness, along with, and oh my God, oh, where'd you go? Labradorite. This is just one of my labradorites. So having labradorite, it's a stone of transformation, protection, enhancing intuition and spirituality. You can carry it or meditate with it. This is where it's going to navigate changes with grace and to tap into the inner wisdom. If you can get a labradorite, a labradorite bracelet, that would be cool. I've never had a labradorite bracelet. I would love to have a labradorite bracelet. Anyways, I go off. But to have, that energy and having that frequency, and that'll help you to tap into that inner wisdom so that you can step into the grace, so you can step into the transformations that are happening within your life and within the world around you. Because there are going to be things that you cannot control and you have no say in, and they're just going to happen. And that's very much where we are at with Canada. So what else do I have for today? Let's pull some cards. Queen of Pentacles. So this is the queen who likes stuff. She wants stuff. She loves her earthly things. She's connected to Venus. She's the real Taurus energy, right? Even her throne is very much, it's solid. Her throne is solid. It's not a sort of frivolous one, but it's one with, it's one that hold on. So it's one that's I got an email coming in that's sort of, sorry. She's not frivolous, right? And being a non-frivolous energy, this is allowing us to step into peace, harmony, and bring into what we want. She wants to have stuff, she wants to have
Olivia or Olivia Tracy.
She wants to have things. She wants to have it, right? And it's important that we understand this these frequencies of what the queen is. She's a queen. She is a queen that she loves her things. She loves to have beauty around her. She loves to have good food, right? The vision I have of the queen is also one who loves to eat, dates. Have you ever had a stuffed date? Like a real, oh, Olivia. Yeah. A stuffed date, to have a stuffed date, right? And stuffed, to have like, I've never been honored to have like really fresh dates. Steve goes to when we go into the Northeast, he goes to a couple stores, um, like East Indian stores or their Middle Eastern stores, and he'll get the fresh dates, and they're so sweet, they're so yummy. So bringing in those dates and stuff like that. Sorry, Charlene wrote something up here, and I'll share it. I made hibiscus, lemon, ginger with nettle and mullein and 3 blueberries. And then I had a bit of honey. It was so good. Oh, really? That's a odd combination. But probably, yeah. Very good. Very good. I'm just looking at it. Just you threw me off with the nettle and the mullein in there because those are 2 herbs I would not put together. So just because one is very earthy and the other one is too grassy. Like nettle is very grassy. Like and yeah. So that's just my personal preference. If you love it, that's cool. It's just like when I see nettle, like, and mullein is like very much it's for your chest. So mullein I would definitely use on its own. Maybe flavor it with a little bit of lemon. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So, but and then I don't like mixing my herbs too, because one it's like drugs. There's something that you can start looking into. I know somebody writes something and I go off on it, right? So one thing is that people have to remember is that you see people mixing all these herbs together, and it's understanding why you're mixing the herbs together. Because sometimes each herb has its own thing that it does, and it can do it very well on its own. And sometimes when you mix another herb with it, it's not able to do the full effect of what it is they're intended to do, if that makes sense. So watching how, when you put it's same with crystals. So if you're mixing like, quartz crystals really work. They have a frequency that really works together. Now, if you put something dense in between those crystals and you are creating a grid, you're going to find that the grid it's going to work, but it's not going to give you the oomph that you really, really want. So some crystals work really well together, while other crystals don't. That's the same way with herbs. Some herbs will work really well together. Others don't work very well, or they'll just work to them. Nettle, I feel it's a herb that needs to be on its own, because nettle is so powerful on its own, and especially in an infusion. Nettle is made for giving you back the iron and netting back your ligaments, and it's filled with the amino acids that you need and the vitamins, and it even has vitamin D. Mullein is great for the chest, and it's kind of like it's mullein with mullein, it is also used as a tobacco. So mullein was also smoked, so it has that energy with it. Using hibiscus, lemon, and ginger, definitely beautiful combination. The hibiscus brings you in sort of like the floral type of energy with it, and the lemon and the ginger always go really well. Lemon and ginger do very well together because the ones with the citrus, and then with the ginger and it lemon actually helps to extract all what you need out of the ginger and helps you with the balance of the ginger. So yeah, blueberries just add. Blueberries are an antioxidant and add to the antioxidant. Now, one that's a higher antioxidant than blueberries is cranberries, but not a lot of people like cranberries. So there you go. There's your little lesson on some, on some of the herbs. But using it's using the mullein, because mullein, I'm going to go back to the mullein because the mullein has vitamin C, I believe, because it's yellow, and the mullein stems. So it's a great antioxidant as well. And but it is one that what they call can be unstable. So the unstable molecules that so you just have to be mullein you can't use all the time. Mullein's only used if you actually need it, because it can be an unstabilizer too as well. So um, that's a little FYI with mullein. So mullein, that's why they use mullein in an extract to extract it, like with alcohol and that, and they use it as a tincture per se, or they would use it just on its own as a tea. So that's the other thing with mullein. Yeah, there you go. So you asked why. See, when you ask why, yeah, only use when congestion, but I'd use it on its own. I wouldn't use it in a combination, just because it does have properties that can break things down, and that can add other issues within your body and with how your body can break it down, even through your liver. So that's the whole thing. It's like, in understanding herbs is so important, because a lot of herbs do cause a lot of damage. And that's when people, the big phase on people taking essential oils and just dropping essential oils into their water and stuff like that, not understanding the true effect of what's in essential oil and how strong essential oils are. That's why you usually have to use a carrying oil with them, because it's the extraction of the true of everything within that plant. That's what essential oils are, essential, right? So when the flower energies, they are, people say, well, they taste a little bit like, brandy. Well, it's using vapors, like the water vapors from that flower, and then creating the Bach remedies. That's what they are. So, but understand, like, that's why it's great to know herbs and understand the herbs, but it's really important to get into the molecular and the chemistry makeup of the herbs as well, where because of the effects that they can have on the body. So when I recommend herbs for people, it's usually, I've never recommend a combination. I recommend you one herb, like a singular herb. Drink this. If you want to add peppermint's just a flavor, right? You can add a flavor to it, or lemon, because that's not going to damage the herb, or it's just adding a little bit of flavor, or if you want to add sugar to it, or honey. And then, that's I was going to go on about honey, but that's just important for people to understand, especially if you're going to go into and learning about herbs, is understanding more. I'm not going to say that doesn't taste good. I bet you it tasted wonderful. But as soon as I saw the nettle and the mullein, I just like, this, yeah. Those are two of the combos I wouldn't make. But if it works for you, that's good. But I wouldn't drink it all the time. Definitely would be careful with that. Anyways, what's the second card as I'm babbling on here? It's the card that comes after the Tower card. It's the Star card. And the Star card wants to bring in the balance, wants to bring the balance into everything that's here. I was amazed today. There's two side-by-sides that were just built down the road here, and they sold in a week. Now, I know these side-by-sides are going for probably over $800,000. Easy. And anything that gets, knocked down, built up in this neighborhood, like there's one yard where the house was, they wanted to keep their house. So they blocked off the neighborhood and everything. They towed the house early in the morning out, lifted it up and towed it out. Anyways, they built a side-by-side and two fill-ins. And I'm just thinking, well, the amount of money that they probably got, like those side-by-sides are really beautiful. They look beautiful. I think they all look the same inside, but you're looking at maybe 600,000 would be at the low end of them, to up to 800,000, because we have houses that are just over here that are worth over $1 million. Some of these big houses that they've built a few years ago. But this is where it's kind of why I bring that up, because she can get extravagant. Right? And here comes the Star card and says, okay, you know what? We're rebuilding. It's great you want some pretty stuff. It's great that you want, but it's time to look at how are you balancing that, because we're looking at further along. We're looking at in the future. Right now, at the port of Los Angeles and Seattle, even Vancouver, less freight is coming in. So, and most of the freight, or most of the ones that come in, are from China. So we're having less stuff coming in from China. Now, we have to realize it's not just dinky little things that come in from China, right? It's other things that we utilize on every day. I mean, if you look at, if anybody is in the metaphysical, any of your stuff comes in from China. It's made in China, right? A lot of things, that you might utilize on a day-to-day basis, even some of your food coming in from China. So these are where it's, people have to start looking at the balance of things and what that balance is and how you want to create a balance in your life. Here, go over there. Use this so much. Am I ready to celebrate and honor the light that surrounds me? So celebrating what you have, knowing that we are boundless, we can create some great things, but knowing our boundaries, right? We are magical. We can connect to our, connecting to our inner voice is very important. But this is where, I'm going to pull out one more card, but it's all about, so the king can't provide. He can't provide right now. He wants to provide for his queen, but he's unable to. So the king's not unable to provide what he needs to provide or what he wants to provide, because he may not have all the resources for it. He may not have all what it takes. So it's where people are going to find that, over the next year, especially when it comes to finances and housing and stuff, what that's going to look like. Because one of the things people, understand accounting is important, and understand when the government, especially a guy like Mark Carney, says, we are wanting capital gains. Capital gains aren't for you and me. Capital gains is for the government. That's what it is. Capital gains is not for us. Especially when you look on the balance sheet. And what are those capital gains? And that's where it's going to be, when it comes to where things are being built, or what things, she wants these things. Yes, there's boundless energy with it, but the energy is a spiritual energy, and it's stepping into that spiritual energy. The king reverse, I feel like it's almost like his hands are tied. He can't give you all what you want. Yeah, it's overindulgence. This is why everybody's getting all pissed off right now in the world. Right now, this is a creative time. Yeah, get creative, get artistic, get your ideas out there, get yourself motivated. If you are wanting to make something or create something, beautiful energy for it, and making sure that this is what I'm doing. It's like, this is the road I'm on. This is what I'm doing, and not getting yourself going off in tangents of I need this, and I need this over here, and I need this over here, like that overindulgence. This is where you need, because disconnection from one's higher self and spiritual nature is there. So you have to be very careful that you don't disconnect from your higher power, that you continue. That's why you got to put, it's like you got to put the divine with you with whatever you do. The other reason why I'm wanting to do an altar in your pocket, right? You have this little altar that you can pull out, and it could be something very easy, or something, some people can bring out little elaborate things, right? So this is, reconnecting desire. You might want all this status, and you want all that's, when it comes to, you have a generation that wants to be influencers, and that influencer energy is gone. It's not there anymore. They want to be, all I want to do is I want to be a YouTuber. I just want to be a YouTuber. And I know some really good YouTubers. They work fucking hard. It's not like they do it, like with me, like do something and put it up. They have to edit, they film, they edit, they put things together. It's like a movie production. That's why some of these YouTubers, it looks so good. It's like a movie production, and then taking the time to make sure that they upload it and everything. So, if that's what you are wanting, if that's what you are desiring, then go for it. Do it. You know. But yeah, there's going to be work to it. Don't think it's just like someone's going to come in and provide. That's not going to happen. So this is really a time of looking at what is it that I want to create, and doing it, right? Putting that one step in front of the other. So on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. And I want you all to have a fabulous, gorgeous day and a scrumptious one. So, and if you are wanting, you can still sign up for the magical journey, the journal, magical journaling for May. And if you're interested in June, July, and August, it would be regularly about $150 because they're $50 a month. I'll give you it for $100, so you'll get 1 month free. So there you go. If you want to go through the summer, and it's at your own pace. This is on you to do it. So sending you guys out so much love. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you, and all that you say and all you be and all you do. Have a blessed one, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.